I have a funny story that occurred to one of my friends. His English was modest when the story occurred. A friend of my friend arrived to Tallahassee to study English, and he was looking for a room to live in when my friend suggested to live with him and to be his roommate. His friend welcomed the idea, and he asked my friend to go to the leasing office and talk to them, because he didn't speak English at all. So, my friend went to the leasing office, and instead of saying, I want to sleep with my friend like he wanted to be his roommate, he said to the girl who was working there, I want to sleep with you. The girl was shocked, and she asked my friend to wait to bring someone else to listen to what my friend he just said. So she came back and she asked my friend to say what just he said, and for the second time he said, I want to sleep with you. The people there were laughing, and they realized later what my friends wanted to say.
I was Ubering once, and this African American driver all of a sudden asked about my roommate because he picked us up a few nights ago. So I told him he's not with us, but then one thing led to another. He had a crush on my roommate, and I asked him, what exactly do you like about my roommate? And of all things, he said I loved his calves. And then I had to Snapchat a video to my roommate.
Hi Sunad, this is Uber driver from yesterday, and I want to see you because you're my Uber crush.
It was awkward.
Well, I guess he was joking, since when he dropped me off, he was like, dude, I'm kidding, but...
Sanad really does have nice calves.
I guess.
3 weeks ago, my friends came from DC to Tallahassee to visit us. And they stayed in Tallahassee for a week. One day we went to Publix to buy some stuff for our home. When we were done, we went to the cashier to pay. When we got there, me and my friends started shouting at each other. Actually, at that moment, people were looking at us, and they thought we were fighting, the cashier as well. So she picked up her phone, and she was trying to call the police. When I saw her doing that and I recognized she was going to call the police, I ran to her as fast as I could and told her to hang up the phone. And I explained the situation for her. I told her that, Mom, please calm down, chill out. We're just having a conflict about who's gonna pay, and it's just part of our culture. When we have a guest, guests, they're not supposed to pay for anything, and they are our guests here in Tallahassee. So she understood me, and we got through this situation, this embarrassing and risky situation.
2 years ago, I had an opportunity to teach college students physical education classes. At the time, my English was not as good as it is now. One of my students was a funny girl and cracked jokes a lot. However, she used a lot of slang and bad words starting with F. One day, she was talking about something funny for our break time. Suddenly, she spoke blah blah blah, and then I was embarrassed. I felt that I needed to correct the way of speaking. However, remember, my English was not good at the moment, and I was embarrassed. So I should have said, hey, don't say here, because it is not appropriate. However, I said, hey, don't here, because it is not appropriate. All of students laughed out loud because they knew what I wanted to say. It was a funny anecdote for me due to my language skill.
One of the things that surprised me the most about the US is how nice people are in here. For example, one time me and my friend were cruising around Orlando, and all of a sudden we got into an accident. He has no insurance, he had no license, and we crashed into a car, and we pushed it to crash into the car in front of it. So after that, we got out of the car. We expected them to be really upset with us and really angry, but that wasn't the case. They were really nice. They got out of the car. They said, "Hey, are you okay, guys?" And they just walked us through what we are supposed to do until the police came, and we just solved the problem.
The story that I'm about to tell you actually happened to my sister. And when I heard it, I was really shocked because that never happens in my country. One night she was sleeping and she heard a lot of noise in her neighborhood. Tired and angry, she decided to go out and speak to her neighbors that they need to decrease their volume. Before coming out, she got the idea of looking through the window. And when she did it, she saw some guys holding a gun and they were smoking some cigarettes and shouting, dancing. So she was really afraid. She just went back to bed and just sleep regardless the noise. She thought that this was the best solution that she could take. After a few months, she just switched to another apartment.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the credit card and my experience about the credit card. So in China, people don't usually use their credit cards. So when I first went to Winn-Dixie, I decided to use my new credit card to pay. And but I don't know how to use that machine because it is different. It is different here. And when the lady behind the counter asked me to enter my PIN number, I entered to the number on the back of my card, and which is obviously wrong. So I decided to enter my account number, and the lady began to laugh. I feel so awkward that I gave up. Fortunately, I brought some cash with me, and all I could think about is running away. So I gave her $100 and run away without change. Yeah.
The first time I came to the US, I rented a car, and when I need to fill up, I decided to go to a gas station. And I was waiting there for a long time for a person to come help me. Finally, I just realized that here in the US, you have to do it by yourself. It was funny because in Colombia, there is a person in the gas station that helps you to fill up your car.
It was almost a year after I had lived in the States. I was living near campus. One day, very early morning, I went to the bathroom in my room. When I tried to flush, the lever was not working. No matter how hard I tried, it didn't work. So I was very upset and I pushed the lever with all my strength. Then something really dirty happened. Since I pushed the lever so strongly, the chain inside the toilet broke and it led to a disaster. The water inside the toilet overflowed into my room and onto the carpet, and it continued for about 30 minutes, but still it didn't stop. I was so frustrated and shocked. But the thing is, there is dung in the toilet. So finally, I had to wake up my roommate. He was sleeping so deeply. So when I woke him up, he was very angry, but I couldn't help doing that. When he saw my toilet, he just closed the valve. It was such a simple solution, but I didn't recognize it because I had never experienced a situation like this back in my country. I had no idea about where the valve was. So after the disaster, my room was filled with water and very stinking smell for a week. It was so strong. Remember to check the valve if this ever happens to you.
The first time I came to the United States, I lost my bags in the Miami airport. I went to the lost luggage office. At this time, my language and my English was very, very bad. I didn't know how to describe my situation for the lady in the office, but I asked the receptionist about my problem, and I want her to solve my problem. And I spoke to her, and I speak to her every time, several times, and eventually she started to shouting at me. I don't know why, in front of all the people. Then she started to shout and shout, but then I wish that I learned English before I came to the United States. It will be better to me. I think so.
My pronunciation creates funny situations sometimes. I remembered once when I was in the hospital and I had an emergency. I asked the reception employee about emergency room and she couldn't understand me. After I repeating my question many times, another employee heard our conversation and she came to us and said, "Do you mean an emergency?" And I said, "Yes." Finally.
And first day of my marriage, I traveled to Munich and I rent a car. After 5 minutes of driving, I park for 3 hours. Then after I came back to my car, I didn't find it. I froze for 5 minutes. I thought it's stolen. Then I looked around me. I went to a close store to ask him about what happened for me. He told me, "You have to go to that building, which is across of my car." Then after I went to that building, I found it as police station. They told me your car is towed because you parked in a high security zone. For that I have to pay around $300 to return my car.
So, as you've probably noticed from the beginning part of this video, a lot of our students at CIES are from the Middle East, particularly Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. One of the things about these students that surprised me the most was just the brotherly love that I see. They hug each other, they kiss each other, they dance together at parties, and it's just it's very close, it's very personal, and I don't know, it kind of surprised me a little bit.
Does that ever make you feel weird with us, at least?
No. At first, just a little bit. Yeah, the first time a Kuwaiti boy give me a kiss in the air, it kind of surprised me a little bit, but now I'm used to it.
Who did that?
Well, not here.
Alright, you've seen what we went through. Just let us know what you went through in the comments below.